Okay, I just like to get all that out of the way. So tonight I'm actually just going to go ahead. Well, no, I actually want to announce a couple of things. I want to talk about the body launch just for a second because I'm starting to get questions and I honestly, as I was sitting here, I'm like, oh, I need to announce this. I don't remember the information though that I saw the other day, so I'll try to get that in our group. Probably Jessica posted it, but it was like there's going to be a delay. Yeah, okay. So, right, not a delay on the bikes, it's a delay on body and on the total solution pack. Correct. Okay, that's what I thought. So, it'll still be there like body beta, so you can still go test it out. Which in my opinion is still like, okay, it's there. So the workouts are there. So I would suggest going and trying it for a month. I've actually never paid for Nutrition Plus, and in July my bod renewed, so I got another challenge pack, and so that's how I got body. I still didn't check out Nutrition Plus. I really should, but anyways, that's how. If you have questions about how to get it, I can explain it to you, or you can watch Jessica's recording because it's all on there. But some of that might not actually be on there yet on our website, like to upgrade to body. Okay, did you have a question?
I know I'm supposed to stay muted,
No.
but this might be important to somebody who's listening later. I did a one-on-one chat through Beachbody as a coach
Uh-huh.
to confirm if someone contacts you because they already have a mixed 2 bike,
Uh-huh.
because they were a mixed customer before,
Yeah.
they will be able to log into Body through their regular
Yeah.
on their screen thing. It will convert, it will work. So if somebody contacts you with that question.
Yeah, that's perfect. I did have a question today, just having a bike, and I don't know how that will work, but I just said if you have it set up in front of your TV or your phone, you can obviously still access the ride. Yeah, so I just told her that.
That's what customer service told me. So
Yeah. Okay, perfect. Um, okay. And then the other announcement is that on next Tuesday, on the 14th, I'm going to be hosting another sneak peek. I'm going to actually take the videos down that I had from July. I really liked them. I felt like I did a good job. So I wanted to utilize them. And I've been adding people in there. Just so you know, you can always add people in there. I don't take the videos down technically, but I don't like kind of try to ramp up the energy. I mainly am doing these sneak peeks because it helps me, it reminds me that I need to be inviting a coaching. So like hopefully it can be kind of that reminder for you too, and then to know that like you don't even have to try to explain it if you don't know how to explain coaching, because I'm just going to be in there explaining it for you and for them. So just add them in there. If you're not sure what I'm talking about, I'll be posting it probably Sunday or Monday, just like right before, because a lot of you are in there already. And yeah, I'll be taking the videos down. We'll leave all the people in there who are there before. And this weekend, this is how I do it. You don't have to do it like too soon in advance because people will forget anyways. So today's Thursday. So tomorrow I'm going to start talking about my sneak peek on my stories. And today I wrote a coach post. So you have time to do that over the weekend or tomorrow. Talk about how coaching we're going to be talking about inviting. So this is perfect. But just to share how I do this, talk about how coaching has helped you change your life in some way, how it solved whatever problem that it could solve for your viewers. And then anyways, invite people, get people in there. Don't just add people to that group. Make sure that you invite them and they say yes, and then send them the invite and tell them. There's now a button right above the invite that says share, and I click that and I copy the link and I paste it to them. That way there's no way that they missed the group somehow. They have the link directly to it. So anyway, that's happening on Tuesday. And again, like none of you have to be live that day, but it does help if some of us are in there kind of like ramping up the energy and saying this is amazing or commenting or whatever. So just know that's coming. And if you just have any questions, let me know. Okay, so I am going to share my screen, and I am going to be talking about inviting tonight. Move this over. So you are invited. I wanted this to look like an invitation because you are invited to invite. um, oh, I didn't know I made it that fancy. So before you even start inviting, first of all, inviting is the foundation of our business. I mean, we have the 4 vital behaviors that Beachbody gave us, which is personal development, recognition. I'm like, oh no, I forgot. And inviting is in there. And now I'm like forgetting the 4th one. But inviting is huge. And if you don't do it, someone might not know what you're doing. They might just think you're on your own like health journey. Everybody shares stuff like this now. So you have to send them an invitation. If you're throwing a birthday party or your kids and you just like don't tell anybody, probably no one's going to show up, right? So it really is the same way because we're hosting these groups and we have this big community. It's so much different than just like posting ads and hoping people will want to buy something, right? So before you sit down to invite, remember your why. And I put some of these have pictures of me, and I put a picture of my family because that was always my why for me to be like the healthiest and happiest mom that I could be, to help other moms, help them not feel guilty. That was my original why. And then kind of my greater why now as a business builder is that I want to retire my husband and I want, like a different kind of life for our family. And so when I do this, I don't always do this, but sometimes it's 6 a.m. and I just get it done. But when I think about it before I get started, I have so much more energy. I have a reason and a mission and like this drive of why I am sending these invites, and it really comes through. And it kind of takes the dread out of it, and like making it feel like a chore, or making it feel like some people I know you're still afraid to send invites. So if you remember your why, like it should get you all fired up. And if not, then maybe we need to check what your why is, and rethink that a little bit. So, oh my, okay. Genuinely care about the person you are inviting. So, it doesn't need to feel icky, and you don't need to be salesy, and everyone's always worried about that. But if you care about them and let me just go to the next slide. If you believe, so this is what you need to have, because this will help you to not feel salesy or icky, and this will show them that you genuinely care. But you need to have belief in what this journey is doing, in what these products and what these workouts and what this community is doing and what coaching is doing for you. You have to find that belief. And I know, like, I will be the first to say, like, it can be so hard sometimes. Like, I've been actually struggling with it myself this week and this summer a lot, ups and downs. And I had a call on that recently, but ultimately, and that's why I put my before and after. You don't need a before and after to start inviting, but that was just part of what instilled the belief in me, is that I was proof that the product works. That was the 4th vital, by the way. Number 2 is that you need confidence. So not necessarily, like, sometimes we don't start out very confident in speaking and in what we're doing, but we want to build the confidence that we believe that this will change their life so much as it has helped us, that we have the confidence to send them the invite, to share this with them, and also to receive the no and not take it personally. We will have the confidence to say, okay, it's just not the right timing for them, or they don't understand yet what I'm doing, that kind of thing. And then the last thing that really helps to send those invites, I want to say you need it, but again, some mornings I don't have the energy physically. But if you're remembering that why, it's going to set you on fire, and you're going to get a mental energy that you will send with that invite, and you will be prepared to answer them back however they respond. And it's not going to drag you down. It's not going to be like this awful task that you have to do. And energy is contagious. So they're going to feel that coming through your message. They're going to feel your confidence, and all of this plays together. If you feel like you don't have any or either any of these three things or some of them, just like work on it. You know, you still have to send the messages. When I was a brand new coach, I had a little belief because I had been a customer a little while. And I knew what the shake was doing for me. So I had a little confidence, and I had a lot of energy because I was really excited. I'm really excited to help other moms. And that again can go up and down. But if you're brand new, you know, you might not have, I didn't turn that off. Some of that, but it will build as you go. You still have to send those invites, and your confidence will grow, and it will kind of snowball. That's not the word I want, but so, and then once you send it, have patience. Remember that this is a process, and inviting is really just planting a seed. So most of the time, people are not going to say yes the first time. A lot of times it takes them multiple times of inviting them. Some people a few months, some people a few years. And so if you really believe in this, then you believe that you will be able to help them at some point in their life, and that it just has to be the right timing for them, and they're not ready yet for whatever reason. So again, have confidence that you planted that seed. You did your job as a coach, and now we'll leave it to them about what's going to happen and when they're going to grow and be ready for this. But I say have patience, because it can get really frustrating. Even for me now, sometimes I'm like, why can't they just be ready? Why did they say no again when I know they want this? I can feel that they need it, you know? So you have to just have that patience, be kind to them, and try to be understanding kind of where they're at in their life. But ultimately, your posts and your stories, so I put, we are in the business of helping people. So we don't want to think of it as selling. We're obviously they obviously are buying something, but we're not blabbing ads, and we're not just showing like pictures of what we're selling and then they're going to buy it and then go away. We're not that kind of like a website. We are sharing our journey and hopefully inspiring people and giving them kind of this hope, and we're providing a solution to their problem. So remember that while you're inviting, and it won't feel icky, because you are helping them. You're trying to fix something that they need in their life, right? So, and I kind of cut myself off, but your posts and your stories and wherever else people are going to see you, whether it's on social media or in your real life, need to back it up, so that when you send this invite, whether they say yes or no, if they say no, a lot of times it'll actually get people's eyes on me more for a while. They will actually, sometimes they never watched my story before, and I invited them like because from a new conversation or something. And sometimes after I invite them, they actually then start watching my stories, and they'll join later on. They say no, and then they realize like, oh, this girl really does what she's talking about. Oh, it really is working, you know? So your life, like, you've got to walk the walk and show them what, you know, that it's working. And what else was I going to say? Yeah, I think that's mainly it. And the other thing is like that it's going to build trust, and because they'll see like, oh, she really does have this community, and she really does care, and it looks like she isn't just going to sell me something and go away. And I feel like maybe I've even had people that have signed up and weren't really even sure about it, but they almost like follow you more after that, because then they're like, okay, like I get it now. Sometimes people just it has to click with them. So let's see. So your journey must be shown in order to back up the proof for the invite. So make sure if you send that invite, like make sure you're sharing on your stories. Make sure that you're posting consistently so that they can scroll back and see what you're talking about, you know? And obviously, like if you're new or if you haven't started doing that yet, it will take some time, and don't let that be a reason to not invite. But still get started, and then just set that a goal to start showing up every day. And the more that you show up on social media, like you're obviously in turn showing up more in your life and in your health journey, which is literally why I like why I've gotten results a lot of the time, because I don't think I'd be this consistent if I wasn't coaching and trying to be a leader and trying to be an example to other people. So all of this, like I said, it builds trust. You're building relationships this way, and you will find your voice in the invite simply by doing them. There are tons of what am I thinking? Like scripts, and you can use what I say, but even in it probably took me I don't know when I changed my invite. Over the past several years, I've definitely changed how I talk about the business and about joining us and how I invite to it. And I still keep them really personal if I'm having a personal conversation with people. And then I also have kind of a general invite that I send, or depending on what the post was that day. But again, I only learned how I wanted to say things by doing it. And so that's the best way for you to learn as well, even though it's scary and even though it's hard and awkward, and maybe it's not how you sound yet, but you won't find your voice that way unless you just get out there and start sending invites. And then the top key with inviting is being consistent. It's not something that some people sit down and do 100 invites once a week. That's a lot of work. I like to space it out, and I like to see who's watching my stories. I think I'm getting ahead of myself. We're kind of doing that next, but I lost my train of thought. I'm like all over the place tonight in my brain. Anyways, so okay, I don't know where I was at, for just pretend like I didn't say that. My dad's gonna watch this later and be like, Heidi, what are you talking about? So if you don't invite them, they won't know about it, or somebody else will invite them. Either way, I feel like the somebody else would be even worse. And sometimes there are people that I invite and they still tell me no, or they still just signed up with somebody else. But I always feel better that I at least sent them the invite and know that I did my part to make sure that they're covered, to make sure they're taken care of. So remember that if you don't invite them, they might not ever know what you're doing. They might not understand. Even if you're showing up every day, I've even had people who asked for information and then ghosted me for months. And then I would do another follow-up. This happened last week. And I'm like, were you still interested? Did you want to sign up? Did you want the information? Whatever. And they're like, what is it again that you do? And I'm like, you asked me. So people and they watch my story every day. So sometimes they're like, they really don't know unless you invite them and tell them about it. Okay. And the other thing that I know can hold you back is sometimes we like to be the judge of who we think would want it or not want it, or who would do this, or oh, she would never do that. Alice used to do that sometimes with people that we know or someone he worked with. And I'm like, well, I invited them anyways. And they said they want information, or because you don't ever know what season of life people are in, or how desperately they do need that. And so you plant the seed and send the invite. That's our job. Let them decide if it's time, if they're ready, if this is something that could be for them. So who do you invite? Where do we find these names? I find them from anybody who clicks like on my posts. I use Facebook and Instagram. There's obviously like TikTok now, and I don't know, there's so many ways that you could do this, and YouTube or people in person. But I find names from who likes my posts, who watches my stories. And when I was new, I didn't have as many of those people. So I was just reaching out to people. Like, it was super awkward and uncomfortable, but I reached out to the first people I signed up was my sister-in-law, a couple of sister-in-laws, and this cousin who's like way older than me that I never hung out with when I was a kid. And I don't remember who else signed up. But you've got to get creative and start talking to people. And again, don't be the judge. You never know who might need this or not. And maybe it's someone from college like Emily was, or from high school, or your sister-in-law's friend's person that she worked with. Like, you will find people. And I put the FedEx man, the mailman. So let's see. But what I would do is I would just kind of strike up a conversation to see what they've been up to. And even if you don't want to ask them directly, just say, do you know anyone who needs help with their health, or who's ready to do workouts? Or I'm pretty sure I said, do you know anyone who wants to get healthy? Like, that's probably not the perfect words to say, but that's what I said. And a lot of people either said, no, I don't, yes, I do, or I want to get healthy. And then that led into, okay, and then we could talk about it. So I think this is the last one. Oh, yeah, that's why it's not going. So overall, I'm just going to stop my share and just kind of wrap this up. Overall, though, don't overthink the invite. It can feel scary for a long time, but the more that you do it, the more that you practice it, the easier it becomes. And it's just part of what you have to do. And sometimes, like I said, like, it's not always fun, but if you remind yourself of your why, you are gonna kind of light your fire and get going with that. But just do the action. And a lot of times that energy will come in the action, the confidence will build. And the more that you send also, the more chances that someone is going to say yes. So this was something that I made a mistake of in the past. And I thought, okay, well, these people are interested. So I kind of stopped there and like stopped sharing about it. And then all of a sudden they didn't want to sign up, or they stopped talking to me. And then I didn't hit Success Club. And that happened so many months where I had planned, like I thought like 5 people all asked for information, or they said yes even. Or sometimes I sent that many share carts and then they stopped talking to me, or they didn't pay. So know that that's possible, but that kind of that term, like, we don't want to put all of our eggs in one basket. You just keep sharing, keep planting the seeds, because you won't ever know who's ready at what time. Every month, it's always a surprise for me. Who's going to sign up? Because all the people that say like, oh, I'll do it in September, a lot of them don't. And it's always a surprise. But I have all these other people who are ready that I've just planted those seeds in the past. So let's see, the bottom line, I'm pretty much saying all of that. The invite is a seed being planted. Most people will not say yes the first time, so you don't want to exactly expect them to say no, but expect it kind of in your heart so that you're not like torn up about it. And sometimes it just takes over and over and over again till they're ready. And the ways to know if you should keep inviting them over and over is if they're still following you, watching your stories, liking your posts. If they're not doing that anymore and they're not responding to you, don't waste your time on them. I used to do that too, and it is kind of a waste of time. But if they're still watching, there's some reason that they're still watching. So, the other thing is, like, if they say no and they're not ready, find out why. Like, find out their needs. Maybe they're worried about something, or they're afraid. Sometimes, sometimes it is just financially, and then just say, okay, like, save up. Can I check back with you next month? There are ways, and that's a whole nother call that we've talked about, ways to respond to people when they say no, that maybe we'll do again soon. But they want this, but they might just not be ready yet. And ultimately, just like, be a real friend. be a nice human being, check up on them. If they say they have surgery scheduled, then write a note for yourself and check on them, see how their surgery went, you know. And then I think that's about all that I have. Just have that confidence. Know that what you're doing is good, that you mean it, even if they might not always take it that way. And you know in your heart like that you care about them and you want to help them. Sometimes people say no in a really rude way, you know, or they'll apologize. Oh, I'm so sorry that I can't sign up. And I'm like, this isn't for me, it's for you. I just want to help you. So if it's not the timing for you, that's totally fine, you know. And sometimes it is hard to say that, but I do mean it in my heart. And so, and then a lot of times they're like surprised, like, oh, thank you, you know, because they think I just want to make a sale. And so I think that that really deepens the trust even more, to where, you know, they probably will come back and be ready because of my response to their no. So keep that in mind. And I'm kind of getting like off topic. I'm starting to talk about no's now, but just have the confidence to keep showing up and just trust the process.